just me and my guitar.
What's happening, guys? Mark back on Mark's Aquatics. By popular demand, today we are going to be covering this and we're going to be creating another living wall, but instead of sewing it on and knitting it on like we did last time, we're just going to use some super glue. That's the stuff I use. I find it fantastic, works really well. So all you need is a pair of scissors, some of that and some of this. Now this particular type of mesh is made by a company called Arcadia, and they make all different stuff for aquatic stuff, for the marine side of things, and these actually link together, so you can get another one and you can slot it. You can see those little bits and grooves at the top there. Well, they actually interlink with each other, so another sheet will actually lock onto there and you can cover whatever size you want for frags. Where you see people putting corals, it's when I used to breed coral, I used to use these and put each individual coral plug in each one, spacing them equally apart so they could grow nicely, and they were absolutely brilliant for it. But they're also brilliant for doing living walls as well. And the good thing about these as well, I'll just reach past, these suckers, oh sorry, suckers there, they fit into there as well. Where are you? There you are. So when you put it into your tank, you'll suck it to the bottom and it'll hold it in place, and you can put it out like that and then hook it back into place. These do actually sink as well, guys, so don't worry about, they don't float, these sink. They're heavy grade plastic, but with those little feet in the bottom, they hook in there like that, so you can put 1, 2, 3 wherever you like across there. And even on the corners there, if you want to put it into a corner, you can put a sucker there as well, so you can literally stick it to the base, slide it over, which will then lock it into place this side as well. And I've found these brilliant over the years for doing different projects. So there's a little handy hint and tip for you. Right, what we've got in this bowl, we've got some lovely stuff in here. We've got some lovely Anubias Nana. I think this is only a very small tank, so we're not going to go nuts and putting different things in there. We've got some Java Fern as well, couple of little snippets of Java Fern, they'll take off. Got a Marimo Ball, which are absolutely brilliant for holding water, and all sorts of little bugs and critters live in these when they come from the shops. They harbour deep within them. You've got lots of bacteria on them as well, so they're good. But the good thing is about these guys is you can actually break them up and put them into these little squares as well. So we'll do that with this one. This is a spare one which I've had kicking around in one of my other shrimp tanks for a while. Little leaf, Java Fern leaf. Now with this stuff, if you look very closely, you'll see, if you just get a leaf of Java Fern and you see it floating around in your tank, don't throw it away, because if you leave it floating around for a while, if you can see there's a little tiny plantlet growing off there, new little sprout growing off, and some more roots growing off the bottom there, you see. And it only takes a little part of a leaf to create a new plant. So sometimes when you see your plants in your tanks fall into bits, or this root system's coming off the leaves, that's all they're doing, they're self-propagating in your tank. So you can take these leaves off, you can lash the leaf, imagine my finger's a leaf, you could wrap some cotton around there, around the branch, just leaving that piece out, and that would create a new plant. So don't throw your leaves away if you see them floating, because you can make new little plants with those. We've got some lovely Java moss here, nice big piece of that, lovely green, and I got a big old chunk of subwazatang there as well, which I lashed a very small piece to with cotton a couple of months back, and it's grown that big already. Even came with a free leopard ram's horn snail. Look, you have to watch, you have to put you in the, I'll put you there and you can go in my other shrimp tank in a minute so you don't get left behind. But that's a beautiful piece, that is, really nice, grows quite quickly in the right conditions. We're going to super glue all this stuff on today in little bits all over the place. so we may not use all of it, but we've got plenty to be getting on with there. Okay, so I'm going to get this thing set up now. I'll take you through a couple of bits before I speed things up a bit, because you don't want to be watching me sticking all this stuff on, because it does take some time, and obviously the more effort you do put into it, the better it's going to look, and you can work out how it grows better as well. Obviously keeping higher planting things lower at the bottom, because they're going to grow up. You don't want them up here somewhere and then they're going to go crazy. Try and get your levels right and your perspective right. I always tend to try and keep these lower, or maybe because these are very slow growing, you can keep those in the middle. Maybe you might be able to get 2 or 3 little bits off of that one, or I might leave it whole yet. I'm not sure what I'm going to do, but I'll get the glue out, and I think what we'll do is we'll start at the top and we'll work our way down, I think. Right, with the Java fern, moss, sorry, get a lovely piece like that. Now that looks stunning just as it is, like that. Underneath you see it's still nice and thin. Another little leopard ram's on there. Just take you off carefully, and what you want to try and do is just don't break it, but just sort of try and tease it all apart so you can cover a larger area. Doesn't matter if it snaps, because everywhere where it snaps it's going to start a new growth. Okay, this is what I tend to do, and there's all kinds of bits mixed up in here. Bits of baby's tears, there's all kinds of stuff. When you turn it over you get a bigger, and you can work out then whereabouts you want things to go, and just keep pulling it apart. Like I said, the longer you take, the better it's going to look, and you can make it look quite established in a shorter period of time doing things this way, because with it being black in the background it creates its own shadows. When you turn it up like that you can near enough see straight through it, but when it's in the tank and you're looking at it at a different angle, it'll look quite dark and it creates its own little shadows. So that's what we're going to do there. We've got some other bits here as well. Do the same with that. We're going to tease that apart, do the same thing, taking nicer pieces off, and all you want to do, guys, is literally just on each square, in each centre there, just put a little blob like that, various blobs, and then just lay it on top, and it'll stick and adhere to it really quickly. Okay, minding the old fingers, you don't want to go sticking your fingers together with this stuff. I always do that. I always tell people to be careful. I ended up doing it myself. It's one of them things. But as you can see there, we've created half of that nearly covered already, and that's going to look quite good. So I'll just take it all off now and we're going to glue it down. Sometimes it's good to do a little dry run as well with this stuff. Careful with the roots not to damage them too much, but just poke them through till they come out the other side, and try and get it so you've got your leaves going up like that. Okay, so the plant's growing up, and then you can just dab a couple of blobs of super glue around that and that'll fix it into place. Now with the Marimo balls, you could just tear them open, you see, very carefully, and you can tear off little pieces so you can near enough end up, and you curl them back on themselves like that, look, and there you go, you've got a new one, a new little baby ball there from the main parent. But as long as you tear it open one way, you can get lots of these little balls out, and then we can super glue them in various places, and they're going to look quite good as well. So now you know what I'm going to do. Same with the subwazatang, I'm going to take bits off of that and we're going to glue that in place. Don't worry about it if it's a little bit wet, because I won't worry about the super glue, that will still dry, and it dries quicker, believe it or not, on contact with the water. So I used to use all my frags, when I used to do my fragging for my plugs, for my coral, I used to glue all the coral pieces to the ceramic plugs with super glue. And that's how all the professional fragging and companies, different places all over the world that do it for reef preservation and for the hobby, the aquatics hobby as well. That's how it's done. Super glue is amazing, versatile stuff, it really is. So I'm going to go speed things up a bit now and then get all this glued in place, make it look all smart, and then we'll put it in the tank and see what it looks like. Alright guys?
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. We meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Oh, there you go guys, I found a nice little black piece of sponge to go in there now, and it looks a lot better than that the green section that we had in there before. You can see the heater's on now. You got the lift tube there with the airline going in. Everything's nice and snug behind there, so nothing's in the tank whatsoever. That's hidden in nice and tidy. If we move around the front now, that looks so much better than that green section we had in there. So I'm happy with that now. So now it's time to cycle this little tank out. What I'm going to do is when I clean my other filters out, I'm just going to pump that into the water a couple of times here. That'll release some of the bacteria and different things that are that have already colonised the filter to establish this one. We put some of the bio balls in there as well, which will be releasing billions of little bacteria into the system. So now we've just got to get it cycled, put a few more little bits in. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in there yet on the sand. I don't think I'm going to put a great deal because I like just that living wall with that clean sand base. It looks quite nice. But I'll have a look around. I might be able to find something and or steal something from one of my other systems, or make something completely new to go in there. We'll see what I've done with it on the next video. Alright guys, thanks for tuning in for part 3 of the Matten filter build with the living wall that you guys wanted to see. There it is. Hope you're all happy with it as I am, because I think it looks pretty good so far, and it's only just been put in there, so it's only going to get better with time now. Anyway guys, as always, you're all stars. Love you all. Be safe, and I'll see you on the next edition of Mark's Aquatics. Bye for now.
Just me and my guitar.